Alright, in this short video I want to show you how to write an MLA styled full source citation, which is going to be a works cited entry for for a book with a single author. Alright, and what we have here is I have Google Books and I'm looking at a preview. Communication and introduction. Please notice that this is a larger font, all that sort of thing. That's your main title. This is a subtitle. You have a two-tier title here. You have one author. Now let's just make sure of something, because we don't know yet if this is an author or an editor that's collected and edited a group of essays. But if you watch with me, you know this person has the copyright information, holds the copyright to it. Here's your press. All right, this is called the copyright page. What we just looked at was called the cover page for the Google edition. But here are the table of contents, right? And notice that after the chapters, you don't have any names of a separate author, because sometimes different chapters will be written by different authors if the book is a collection of essays. But that's not how it is here. You see, there are no author names here. So this really is one book by one author. Okay, so this is not necessarily, he's not the editor. Although I'm sure he's proofread his work. That's not really what we talk about when we say book editor. He's the author. Alright, now that's the first thing we need to start with. Carl Eric Rosengren. Okay, so I'm going to go to this document here, and the first thing you need to do is the last name first, alright? Rosengren. And then put the name as you get it in the book. Don't initialize it or anything else. Rosengren, and then we need Carl Eric. First name and middle name it that way. So Carl Eric. Let's go back here. Carl Eric. Now, what I will do after I do this on my own is I'll go back and I'll make sure I get everything 100% perfect as far as Eric with a K and not with a C, Carl with a K and not with a C, that sort of thing. The next thing that follows is the title of the book. So it's communication and introduction. And it needs to be italicized. So I've already clicked the italics button up above, so you see it's italics. And I'm going to put communication and introduction. I'm going to unitalicize this and period. Alright, now I've got a main title, subtitle. The first word and last word of every title, the main and the sub, needs to be capitalized. Since we have only one here, of course, this is a capital C. We usually will not capitalize articles in the titles for MLA, but since this is the first word of the second title, of the subtitle, it needs to be capitalized. This is the last word, it gets capitalized. Alright, so now we need to talk about the place published. So let's go back to look at the book. And we'll scroll down. Now let's remember that it was published in 2009. I know it was reprinted here, but we need to just think in terms of publication. And it was published in 2009, 2000, that's what we want, by Sage, S-A-G-E, okay? And, but what I want to know here is the place it was published. Now, Sage is in London, alright, see that? And it's also in California. Because you're probably using a book in the United States, you should try to pick the first city you get that's in the United States. So let's not do London edition, let's do the Thousand Oaks, California. Now, you need to enter in the city, Thousand Oaks. So we're going to go back over here and we're going to do this. I'm going to go to the document and we're going to put Thousand Oaks. Now, is Thousand Oaks a big city? Is it like Chicago? You know, if people say Chicago, you know where that thing is. If they say Detroit, you know it's in Michigan. If they say Dallas, you know it's Texas. So when you have a major metropolitan unit, a city like that, Los Angeles, you know, Boston, you don't have to put the state. But when it's like a city like this, Thousand Oaks, where's Thousand Oaks? You need to put the state, and now I've forgotten what state it is. I think it was California, but let's take a quick check again. Thousand Oaks, California, okay. And what you need to use in this for the state, in MLA, is the postal abbreviation. So think, how would you write this in a letter address? These are called the postal abbreviations, usually with two capitalized initials, alright? Now, colon, and then we need the publisher, which is Sage. Now, Sage likes to have its work, its thing capitalized, so we could probably get away with this. I don't think you're going to have too much issue with this. But you know, let's go ahead and keep it all caps. That's part of their trademark. I can live with that. Sage, comma, the year. All right. So the year is 2000. Period. That's what we got. Now at this point, we need to put the word print. MLA 6th edition wants you to put the word print there. So that's fine. Let's do it. And we're done. Now, this is how you would write the works cited entry. The thing is, if you were writing other entries, you would like to keep one line out to the edge margin, and the subsequent lines of the same entry would then be indented inward, which is called underhanging indentation. And now, if you have Word or something like that, watch what happens when you try to nothing happens when you push the space bar. When you push the tab, it both goes in. See that? Now what you need to do here is you need to enter away. You need to trick the computer to think that it's a separate paragraph, and then you can tab in or space in, and there you have it. See? This is called underhanging indentation. This is what you would do for the entry if you have other entries. Now I want to fix something really quickly. Down in this edition, we saw that London was also a possible place of publication. Just for sake of example, I'm going to go ahead and change this here. Now, since London is everyone knows where London is. You would be able just to write that. If it were a smaller city in the UK, then you would put UK. That's usually the abbreviation used here, but you could get away with just London. All right. So this is how you would do an MLA works cited entry for a book with one author.